everyone, wanna journal? On today's video, we are going to be having a look at my extensive collection of notebooks and journals, and I want to take you through all the different notebooks that I have. I'm starting with the only notebook that I have in this category, and that is my one of my studying notebooks, and this is a Dingbats journal. I really love these ones, which is why I'm highlighting it. The paper is quite thin, but it doesn't really bleed very easily. It is quite a good quality, but it's got all your dots, it's got numbered pages, it's got a space for a future log already planned out, it's got a key, index, and it's probably my favourite brand that isn't it's my favourite like thinner paper brand, and I love the design on this. It's so pretty, and I love the fresh orange colour. And this notebook I use for, like I said, my equine studies. I am hoping to get a couple of qualifications in with like horse stablery and grooming, and so this will be where I do all my studying. The next notebook I have is just my little address book, and I just think this one's really pretty and shiny, and I got it at TK Maxx. If you want to be pen pals, I'd love to get back into letter writing, so if you want to be added to my little book and receive letters and goodies every now and again, let me know. The next is a little book of quotes. I just thought it'd be a really nice book to collect quotes that I enjoy, and then I've used it like twice. But the quote that I started with was Dante from Devil May Cry 3 saying, "Let's get this party started." And I thought that was an apt quote. And then I think I've only got a few in here currently. So I've got from Geekerella by Ashley Poston, "Look to the stars, aim, ignite." And then of course I've got Bucky Barnes with "I'm with you till the end of the line." So I do want to challenge myself to use this more this year. So if you know of any fantastic quotes that you love, hit me up and I will start trying to add them all in. I'm also using this as practice for my hand lettering. The next collection of books is going to be my random thoughts and random notes. Just very quickly take you through them. And we have random exercise books that I may or may not have procured from my previous school when we had some leftover books, and some of them I use for like just random scribbles and notes and like ideas for booktube stuff that then gets transferred into my actual journal. Some, like this one, is my diet tracker, where at the minute we're investigating some dietary problems that I've got, so I created my own little diet and health tracker sheets, and I fill this with those. I've then got a collection of these little exercise books where it's like my scrap list, so when I just get random thoughts I just put them all down in here. And then we have just an A5 square piece. I've got about 6 or 7 of these that I got from Typo. So Typo is an Australian stationery company. They're relatively new to the UK. I think they've only been around about 5 years or so. Well, that's how long I've known about them. And they do these really cool notebooks, and I like the design on this one with all the shiny stars, and it says "Let that shit go." And it's got sections as well, and each section has a little pocket and a little divider for you to store things in. And this one in particular I use for cosplay stuff, so I've got ideas and YouTubers and stuff that I want to follow. And then we have a random bunch of miscellaneous teeny tiny ones, as I call them. So we have my little Flora one. This one was my Vlogmas 2021 planning book, and it has enough pages in it that I can use it to do some planning for Vlogmas 2022. This one again is just a random one, but I like this one because it comes with a set of post-it notes in it. And then this one is just random little, I think I got this from WH Smith's for like 50p. And these, no, it was Wilko's. And yeah, those are all just like my random thoughts, random idea notes. I have a couple of these notebooks that I picked up from Sainsbury's that I really love the structure of the book. So it's got like these little pins that hold it together, so when you open it, the page it sits really nicely. The next section is my kind of spiritual / religion, and I've got this notebook that I got from Paper Chase about 11 years ago. It's falling apart, but I love it. It's probably my favourite notebook that I own, and you can see it's very, very shiny. It's fake leather, but you can also see it has fallen apart and it is very well used. This one was my pagan notebook, so back at university when I was really getting into my paganism, I did a lot of research. I was looking up, like in here you've got the wheel of the year and I talk about what all the festivals are. I wrote down loads of stuff about all of the elements and how to create altars, and then it was things like I went through each holiday and listed rituals and things, activities that I could do for each one, and then just sort of like wrote down things like what the herbs and flowers and things like that were for my altar. And even though I don't follow things anywhere near as much anymore, I still love this journal, and every time I look through it I get really excited and want to restart my altar. So when I move to Scotland I'm hoping to maybe do that. But I also recently have been trying to find ways to connect with my faith, because I did grow up in the Salvation Army, I did grow up going to church, I did grow up following the Bible. Not like super strict or anything like that, but enough that it did have an impression. And even though I have strayed from the church, I still sometimes find comfort in words from the scriptures. So a couple of years ago, a long time ago, I got this journal. This journal I have ripped so many pages out of by this point. It's kind of started to fall apart. I love it because it's got like these little elephants on it. Again, this is a Paper Chase. And this one now is my religious, like anytime I have an urge to write down a prayer or a thought, or I read something from like a quote from the Bible that I quite like, I just note it down in here and then do a bit of a reflective piece on it. And I've also coincided it with this faith journal that I was recommended by a friend, and basically it has these pages that have quotes from the Bible and you colour them in, but on the corresponding page it will have a question or a statement or anything like that that's linked to the quote, and then it's got space for you to write your reflections. So the very first one, you can see I coloured in, and then it just says like, how can you and God work together to improve on you? And there's ones about like what makes a house a home, what makes you rejoice, things like that. I didn't get very far into this one. I was trying to do like one a week, but then I had a bit of a crisis of faith again, and I'm still recovering from that, but I'm hoping this year maybe to try again. And then we're going to move on to the more like fun ones. So the next one is my D&D journals, and for those we have a very old random notebook that I just picked up and started using. I think this is like my one-shot journal, so whenever we just get together and play random one-shots, I either use this one or my new one-shot journal that I recently started. This super cool cute one. I got this from Poundland. It's so cute, look how shiny and happy, and it's furry, and it's the most tactile notebook I've ever had in my life, and I love it. And yeah, this is my new one-shot notebook. So whenever we play a game, I just note down who the players were, who they played, and the DM, and then obviously my notes from the session. I then have one of my campaign books. So this was a campaign that my then fiance, obviously now my ex, was running. And even though obviously at the moment the memories are very raw and I'm still very hurt, one day I've decided I'm keeping all of these, because one day, you know, they've got some great memories And this one, originally I was hoping to actually write a book about, because the adventures were so good and it was so complex and fantastic, whereas now I'm like, probably not, but the bits that I did write I'm just going to treasure. And again, I love this holographic design, and the pages are all pink, and I'm not getting rid of it. And the final D&D notebook, which is my D&D notebook, is this one. So this one was given to me by my friend Tori, and this is a Meadowgate leather traveller's journal, and it's a cover where you can fit, I think this one fits up to 5 little notebooks in it. So I've currently got like 3 in here, but there's these little bands where you can just slot your notebook in, and then you've got like a little compilation. This is my D&D planning book. So when I was running my campaign, I had all of my notes in here. I had my timelines, I had characters' birthdays, I've got all my session plans, maps, everything is in, all the combat, it's all in here. It's not even all, this is just some of the planning and the session notes. The majority of it was in a folder that was about this thick by the time I finished. The next category is just this one, where I just want to share this journal with you because I love it. For writing in, this is my favourite journal. And this one is another one that I picked up from TK Maxx, and the quote is, "Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground." However, the problem I have with this one is every time I hear "keep your feet on the ground," I have the World of Warcraft. If any of you have played the game, you all know what I mean when I say this makes me think of the dwarves, because one of their famous catchphrases, they're like, "keep your feet on the ground." And every time I read this quote, I just get the World of Warcraft dwarf just going, "keep your feet on the ground." And I'm like, oh my God. So that's a bit annoying. But I love the shininess. I love again, it's that faux leather. And the pages are really, really nice to write on. This one's by Fringe, and I got it for £7. I looked online, these retail at about $20. So about £17. So it was a pretty good deal. And I use this one for my super secret business planning. No, I'm joking. I do use it for business planning, but it's not that secret. And then we finally move on to the more actual journals, which we all know is what you guys are here for. And we're going to start off with my writing. So all of these are related to writing and like novels and stuff like that. We have this one, which is my second favourite of all of my journals. It's a paper blanks. It was a birthday present from my then like future in-laws. And it's kind of annoying that my favourite journals are all from exes and in-laws, but it doesn't matter. And I got Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way, and this was the book that I've been using for it. So I've got my little contract at the start, and I started it on the 1st of February 2021, and I got about 6 weeks in and I started to really struggle, and I ended up not completing the course. I restarted it again in July, and completely, I don't think I even got through the first week. But now that my life is in a very, very different place, I'm thinking of trying again. I then have a selection of novel and bookish ideas, so I'm not going to go too deeply into all of these. But we have, I think this is another, oh no, this one's from The Works that I got for about £2. And I really like the design on this one, even though it doesn't match the content. This is my Viking novel. I'm working on a trilogy set in the Viking period. It does feature a little bit of time travel, but I have not gone into the who's, why's, where's or how's. I've just kind of, she has an accident, she wakes up in the past, deal with it. This is all my research, and it has at the back, I've got a little directory of all of the characters, all of the places, and then at the front it's all of my research that I've got on not just the Vikings themselves, but also the history of Sweden. We then have a writing group that I joined that was run by my friend Sarah and another person. And this one, the story itself, I will not be doing now. I've decided it's a load of crap. But it really helped me to understand the idea of like planning and plotting a novel. And so I've got this one for all my notes on how to do that, but it does have the story in it. And I did plan out scene by scene this entire book. And it's still one that sits with me, and every now and again it comes back into my head. So maybe one that I go back to that was kind of like a YA thriller mystery. So well, you never know. Then I have this one, which is going to be my Red Riding Hood retelling. I'm kind of inspired by Once Upon a Time and also the Lunar Chronicles, where it's got multiple like fairy tale characters in this retelling setting. And so I've had a few ideas for what I want from my characters. And I was originally going to do Red Riding Hood, but rethinking about it, the one character I have never seen a retelling is Goldilocks, and I've got a few ideas. So this one is going to be my fairy tale book. And then finally we have this one, which is stunning. Again, this is a TK Maxx bargain. This one is a Matthew Williamson journal, and it's got gold foiling. And this is my kind of nano and ongoing projects one. So I'm doing an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and I've been tracking on here. I've got like the date, how long I was writing for, how many words I wrote, and then I've got a running total of the book. And just a few pages after each of these grids, so there's room for more. And then just a few pages where I go into some of my ideas and thoughts. And then for nano, I used this for my nano prep, because I'm also looking at doing a dystopian type angels and demons story that is also going to be my very first foray into LGBT writing to male romance. And then the final ones, I've got two Leuchtturm 1917s, which I will recommend until I am blue in the face, because these are amazing. And these are both just my writing improvements. So these are things like, I've got like a list of boys' names, a list of girls' names. I've got different personality traits, character profile questionnaires. I've got plans for fan fiction, monthly writing trackers. So these are just my development notebooks that I use to kind of just really help improve on my writing, especially as I really struggle with things like descriptions and descriptive words and knowing the difference between different types of shoe. The pièce de résistance are all of my bullet journals and reflective notebooks. So I have my therapy journal. I'm not going to share any of this with you because obviously there's a lot of trauma and stuff in here. But basically, whenever I've done therapy or whenever I have done any activities to try and help myself, like meditation and things like that, I list it all in here, and I talk about like what worked, what didn't work, what resources I have. I probably should be using it more than I do. We have the first and only Moleskine book that I currently own, and I will be getting more in the future because I love writing on this paper. And this is my personal growth and reflection notebook. This one, I've just got like things from characters that I've had crushes on through to things that I do well. And every single page I've pre-written either a prompt or a question, or I've got different categories for it as well. So I've got sort of anxiety and stress management, self-development, memories, lists, and then hopes, dreams and fears. And each and every one of these is aimed at helping me to develop some more self-awareness. And then the journal that I use the most often currently, this is my everyday, well, I'm really bad at writing in it every day, but I bought this in the week after my separation from my ex. And again, it was a TK Maxx find, and I loved the colour and I loved the size of it. It's quite a big journal. It's not like A5. It's not any size that I think is standard. The closest I've seen is B5, but it's even a bit thicker than that. And this one is just my everyday thoughts, my morning pages, and is just kind of like, I like to always start with a 10 things about me. And yeah, it's just got certain where I'm venting, it's got thoughts about things that are happening every day. Eventually I'm going to merge this one with my memory journal a little bit more. So this kind of, I'll put things like receipts and tickets and photos and stuff in this as well. And then when I've got the odd blank page, I just want to put some quotes in. And so yeah, this is the one that eventually I want to build up to using every single day. And I will admit, Chloe Reads Books has been helping me to feel motivated to do that. Then we have my bullet journals. I have a fair few of them. So these two big boys are my memory journals from this one is from last year, and you can see it got quite thick. And there are some pages that I haven't finished, but this one I just had like some random pages in here. I even have a page dedicated to the boat that got stuck in the what was it? The Evergreen, that was it, in the Suez Canal, and I've just got some of my favourite memes from that. And yeah, it's also got things like some art journaling, some photos that I took in the winter, in the snow, and like my birthday, little things like that, which I have also started in this one. So I did kind of start the year and I did think about restarting this one, but I decided ultimately no, I will keep it because it's all part of what comes in the memories, like my birthday again and things like that. And then we've got photos of things that I haven't yet finished writing up. So I have like an Encanto spread, and I've got other bits to catch up on. I'm so behind on this one, but again, understandably, I haven't been in the mood for it. We have last year's bullet journals that I will link up here if you want to see a flip through of them both. But these are both Archer and Olive, and I prefer this one. It has a much softer fabric. This one's quite coarse and you can hear it, whereas this one's, it just sounds nicer. And it has a nicer feel to it and it looks nicer. And yeah, not really much to say, so I'll just link up above if you want to see a full flip through of those. Okay, this isn't editing, Kirsty. This is immediately after filming that, Kirsty. It cut off and it kind of deleted the last 5 minutes of footage. So I am just going to finish off and quickly go over the bits that I missed and show you what I was about to show you before I realised it had stopped filming. So I'm just going to spin you around and show you the stack that I've just gone through, and you'll see why this video is probably going to be about 30 minutes long. So yeah, all of my bullet journals and other journals, these are the unread ones, unused ones. So I have like a little one that came with a teacher planner. I have a awesome D&D one that my brother got me. He has no idea what D&D is, he just knows that I play it. So he typed it into Amazon and bought the first few things he saw that he thought I might like, and honestly, I loved it. This is my last Loic term, and in this one I am going to consolidate all of my writing projects, so I will create some little tabs to go down it, so I can just see a list of all of my projects, and then I can go to that project, find out where I'm at in the writing stage, and just have like my most important things like characters and plot. And then this one that I have no idea what I'm doing with, but it is so shiny and so pretty, and I got it from Paper Chase. So yeah, these are all of those journals. That's the cat coming in. And as I said, I do still have more, but they're just not down here. And I don't know where I put them. I also have a ton of them at my dad's. I've got at least another 20 to 30 journals or notebooks stored away in his loft now. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that tour of all of my notebooks. Let me know in the comments how many sort of journals and notebooks you've got and which ones are your favourites, who are your favourite brands. I'd love to try out some new ones. Let me know also which of these ones was your favourite or which were your favourites. Yeah, until the next video, I hope you're good, I hope you're staying safe, and I will see you next time. Bye.